Welcome to Networking with Nathaniel, a podcast where I get to dive deep into the journeys of entrepreneurs, real estate investors, business owners, and just people who are out growing themselves and the people around them. If you're interested in growing your business, your real estate investing, or just yourself in general, you have come to the right place. So stay tuned. We have an amazing guest today. I am Nathaniel Hsien, the host of Networking with Nathaniel. I have done millions of dollars in real estate transactions. I have helped other people do the same and grow their real estate investing business. I am also a health and wellness coach for busy dads. More importantly than that, I'm a husband and a father myself. While I say all of this show is not about me. It is about the amazing guests that I get to chat with and dive deep into their journeys. Before we get to introducing our guests today, please, if you're not already subscribe to the channel. Click the like button on this video so we can reach more people. Don't be like that person who walks past a $20 bill and doesn't put it in their pocket, because that's what this show is. It is money on the ground. It is opportunity that awaits. Without further ado, though, I would like to welcome back to the show my personal development coach from a few years ago and good friend, Creighton Bertrand. Thank you for being here again, brother.
Yeah,
Thank you
man.
for hijacking your wife's computer so you could
I
be
did.
here, because I know it does. StreamYard doesn't play nice with yours for some reason.
I don't know why. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's interesting. It's funny you actually mentioned the $20 bill. That's such. I mean, we divine everything is so amazing. But my wife and I just the other day were walking in Seattle, and on the ground we saw a $20 bill. And she picked it up. In my mind, I'm like, I don't know, should we pick it up? It might be someone, they might be coming back, like all this. And she's like, no, we're going to pick this up and we're going to give it to someone else. That's like, oh my gosh, how beautiful is that? So it was a way to kind of combine kind of both of us together. And it just so happened we were driving in our car back from Seattle back here to Oregon. And on our way back, we stopped at this taco stand. And we're there waiting for the what's up, James? We're there waiting for our food, and while we're waiting for our food, I didn't turn my car off. I left it in accessory mode with the heater. Anyway, it died. The battery died, and I had to go ask the guys at the taco stand, like, "Hey, do you have a jumper?" And they're like, "Yeah," but they had drove to their house. They left the taco stand, drove to their house, got their jumper cameras, came back, and Fernanda goes, "This is why we picked up that $20 bill." And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so beautiful. And I tried to give it to them. And again, just the glory of God, these guys were like, no, just come back, eat again. Like, and I'm like, no, you guys deserve this. If you don't want it, give it to someone else. And I just put it in his pocket. So
yeah, you're taking this.
So if you're listening, listen to Nathaniel and hit that subscribe button.
Yeah, maybe this isn't for you. Maybe you're just tuning in and you're going to end up sharing this with somebody because Creighton says something amazing and it immediately hits you that somebody else needs to hear this. So I can almost guarantee that Creighton is going to say something amazing, as he already has, I guess. So thanks for joining us, you guys that are here live. For those of you that are listening in the future, if you're not already subscribed, hang out for a little bit, see if there's any value here, and then subscribe. But you've made some changes recently. You have moved out of the city and into I guess back home kind of, but into a more country lifestyle. How has that been going?
I love it. We were just back in Seattle. We're Airbnb in our house. So actually to me, like that's the coolest thing, maybe as being an investor, is like we literally have no liabilities anymore. Like that is just so freeing to feel that way. So anyway, we're back at our house. We Airbnb it, so we block it out whenever we want to stay there. So we just stayed there for the last week because it was our kids' spring break. So it was nice to go back to the city, do the city stuff, but then come back here. And out here, we're out in Eastern Oregon, and we have 5 acres, and our kids go to school only Monday through Thursday because it's an agricultural town. So they go to school 1 hour longer, so they don't have to go on Fridays. And every Friday, I take the kids and we go snowboarding. Actually, we just got some snow, so I'm excited to go. this Friday with them. And it's just so much slower pace. Like literally, well, Fernanda and I, my wife, will get out of work here, and then we go home. We're home by like 4, and she goes to the kitchen and starts cooking these crazy elaborate meals, and she loves it because it's a big kitchen and she has a view of the mountains, and we have a pasture out there. So, and the kids, it's crazy. I think we were kind of talking about it, but when we were in Seattle, I mean, even my son at 7, I wanted him to, be able to play soccer for his school or whatever in the future. And people are like, oh my gosh, if you want your kid to play, he needs to start practicing now. I'm like, he's only 7. They're like, if he doesn't start practicing now, he's not going to be able to make it on any of the teams.
Wow.
And I was like, whoa. So we signed him up for a club sport at 7 years old. So he had practice twice a week and then a game every single week, but it went all year round. It was just soccer, soccer, soccer. And so out here, like they don't have a lot of these after school activities. So all the kids are free. So like literally every single day, one of the kids from the school is coming over to our house, and Jax, my son, and his buddies are just playing out in the pasture and just playing outside. And I'm just like, whoa, this is amazing. I love this. And same with my daughter. Her friend just rode her bike to the house the other day, and they're riding bikes. Like so, yeah.
That's something.
But I think it goes back to maybe what we'll go into, like knowing what your priorities are. Like for me and Fernanda and my wife is like family. Boom, family is everything. So with this setup, we're just so much more present with our family and just to have so much more time together. And I can't say that, just living in Seattle, there wasn't an opportunity for us to do it, because we did a pretty good job of spending time together, but it just definitely has a different feel. And I don't really know how to explain that. So.
Yeah, it's one of those things that when you are living it and you've lived the two differences, that's how you kind of can explain it. I feel the same way. Like, not that you couldn't get this living in a big city, because if you were to go to the grocery store the same time, the same day, every single week, typically the same employees will start to know you. But yeah, like that's something we started doing when we moved out here. Like we go to the grocery store before we would go to church, and it's always the same people. So whenever one of the kids isn't there, they're like, hey, what's going on today? Where's the kids? Yeah. So it makes you feel a little bit more tight knit with your community around you. It's something that I've really appreciated, being here from Southern California, just the hustle bustle, the people on top of people. And, I do miss the food and stuff though, because we don't have the best like restaurants.
Oh, say 100. That's one thing that out here, like, and that's why Fernanda's been cooking so much since we came here, because there's literally no restaurants to go to. But I mean, from a financial standpoint, it saves us a ton of money, because we used to, especially in Seattle, it's like $200 to go out every single week. So yeah.
I did pretty darn well, I think. I just got back from Squat Up Summit, which is something that I wanted to, I want to chat with you about, but not overspending on food while I was there. Brittany dominated on the snacks.
How did you set yourself up for success then? I'd be curious to hear your plan on how you were. Was it just by happenstance that you did it and it worked out, or did you actually put some intentionality and that's why it worked out?
I did put intentionality behind it. No, like I have the goal right now of staying under 195, which has been a challenge for me going back like 6 months. I'm actually I've set myself to get down back to like 185, which is what I was in the Marine Corps.
Wow, nice.
Just to be, I think you're aware, I have a community for busy dads that we help take control of their health and wellness. And just to show these other dads in there, it doesn't take a whole lot. It does take some discipline especially on the nutrition side of things. I've made huge changes in the past 6 months. I guess let me go back a little bit, Creighton. Come Hurricane Helene, I decided we had just started Fit Fatherhood, Zach and I, And I was like, you know what? I'm going to kind of eat a bunch of garbage food. I'm going to put on a bunch of weight, and then I'll do this transformation come New Year's.
Oh,
And
okay. So
you
there
know,
was
after the
intentionality
holidays.
behind it.
Yeah. And
Okay.
man, I started feeling bad, you know, because you're eating not good food for you, so you're like lacking energy. You're not able to bend down and touch your toes, and all these side effects of, you know, not
How
eating
big
well.
did you get? How much
Not
weight did you?
not like huge, but enough to where just making that nutrition change, you can see a transformation over the 45 days that I did.
Wow,
Um,
that's pretty cool.
yeah, but it's like we think, because you see these fitness influencers and things like that saying, oh, you just have to eat chicken and vegetables and you have to like go work out for 3 hours a day, that's what it takes. But it's not really. You just have to make these small changes and stick to them and be consistent with them, just like, I mean, anything. Yeah. And so that's what I wanted to show, is that, yeah, I didn't eat dessert for 45 days, right? Which was something that I'll add back in, you know, once a week, maybe going and having cookies or something. But and then I was eating very, very clean, like fish and vegetables and stuff like that. But it's those little changes. I didn't start going to the gym for 4 hours a day. I
Yeah.
really, most of my days consisted of a 15-minute workout in the morning and walking for 30 minutes with the kids in the afternoon, which is, as you may know, with a 4-year-old, it's not like I'm out there putting miles in. Like, they're pretty
Right.
slow. They're picking up
Yeah.
sticks and playing with sticks along the way. Yeah, so it's a stroll.
Right.
So it doesn't take a lot. But I knew that going to squat up, if I hadn't set my intention in my head and had some things prepared, it would be very easy to just grab the closest thing and, you know, and eat for like, oh, I'm hungry. So we had, you know, a handful of cashews and almonds and macadamia nuts, and Brittany bought me a couple bags of jerky that I was able to just kind of sustain. And then all I did when we went out is like I would just go get meat. I got like a pound of meat. I went to barbecue 3 different times while we were there,
Oh,
and
okay. You
just
weren't
spent
eating
like
raw
30 minutes.
meat.
No, brisket and
Yeah.
you
Okay.
know, sausage and, yeah, pulled pork. But I was in Texas. You know, you're in Dallas, Texas. There's going to be good barbecue there, so I'm taking advantage of
Yeah.
that.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
Your calories
but
had to
it's
be
like,
through the roof, especially with all the Barbie is just pure sugar on it in
yeah.
addition to the
Oh,
meat. But
it was it was the best brisket I've ever had, I think, in my life. It was called Terry Black's, and it was,
Mm,
oh,
I think I've heard of
it
it.
like, oh, it was so good. Yeah, anybody that's
Yeah.
in Dallas, I would highly recommend. If you're just passing through, if you're in Dallas, you probably know Terry Black already.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, these things that I'm able to do now is going back to the time that we spent together, right? And then going through the growth code with Jesse, because a lot of the things that we did, you and I, he, you know, preaches isn't the right word, but, you know, talks about in that community as well, the mindset, the
Right.
intentionality. Like, I went to Squad Up with the intention of finding more deals and finding more money, and I did find that. But I also, as we were talking about off camera, is started to find my purpose. It's still hazy, it's still, and you know, Pace calls it your Mount Everest. Like, I can
Right.
see the peak, but it's covered in fog, but I
Mhm.
can see that there's a peak there, and that's where I'm
Yeah.
heading towards now.
Or at
And
least you think you are. Because I would
well, true,
imagine
yeah.
this, because it's so interesting hearing you talk about your intentionality going to squat up. And I was actually going to bring this in. So I'm glad you tied this in, because we were talking before about purpose and all that. Like, do you see how you set yourself up for success going to squat? You didn't have every detail
Mm.
outlined. You're just like, cool, this is my intentionality. I want to go here. I don't know how I'm actually going to get here. I don't know what it's going to look like. But every day you wake up, and this is kind of some of the stuff we talked about in coaching, like, okay, cool. Like, let's reframe ourselves. Let's set some intentionality for the day of, okay, I think I want to watch my weight. And so you're
Mm.
just plugging that thought. I don't know how I'm going to actually do that today yet. But by reminding yourself, now you're looking for opportunities to do that throughout the day. But most of
Yeah.
us are just waking up and we're just literally living on autopilot. And then the week and the month and the year goes by and you're just like, I'm not where I want to be. And are you stopping and asking yourself, well, where do I want to be? Well, I don't know. Well, until you figure that out, you're just going to continue to be lost in the forest. So, I mean, I think you nailed it with going to squat up. Like, cool, I want to make sure my budget is a certain area. I don't know how I'm going to do that exactly yet. But as you're there, you start trying things like, that was way too expensive, or that was way too cheap, and you're starting to put pieces into place, even though you don't see the whole puzzle yet.
Yeah.
So it'd be the same thing of you going back to you talking about your purpose of wanting to help veterans, of like, cool, I don't know how I'm going to do that yet. And we can even go into fatherhood, right? You don't know how you're going to be the best father or the best husband, but you know that you want to try your best and do your best. And as the day unfolds, you get more data, you get more information. I don't want to do that again, but you're setting the intention on a daily basis of like, okay, I want to be a good father. This is what I think my definition of a good father looks like today. But at the end of the day, you yelled at your kids and you freaked out or whatever. And you're like, oh, okay, now my definition, my Everest has moved a little bit.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%.
And
it's
when
funny
you come
that,
in, let me say this last thing is, when you come in the day with that intentionality of, you know what, I know that this is what my purpose is, and I'm just going to look for opportunities to kind of gain some more information or play with that. And then at the end of the day, reflect back. What did I learn? What can I move that at all or not? Like, that's how you get it. It's not like, okay, one day I sat down and this is it. Because if we think about, I know you, that you're such an amazing father and husband. You didn't become that on the first day and be like, okay, this is all the rules. These are all the regulations for me to become this perfect. Because when you sat down and did it, you didn't have the information and the wisdom that you have now. And I think that this is where so many people get lost when they come into their purpose, is especially us analytical, that like, I want to know what it is, how it is, like it has to be perfect. And it's like, I'm sorry, it doesn't work that way. Like, you do the best you can with the information that you have, and you continuously work on it until those clouds start to part a little bit, right? At the beginning, it's really foggy and you're like, I think I see the peak, and I think I just want to help veterans. And then a week later, because you're constantly checking in, I want to help veterans. What can I do? Where are opportunities for me to be in alignment with this? And then at the end of the week, you're like, oh, I see there's a little bit of a path. I don't know where that path goes, but now I'm starting to walk up. And then you start walking up that path and you run into a block. You're like, okay, well, that wasn't it. That sucked. That is not how I want to help veterans. But now you have one path out of a million that you know not to take. And I think that's where a lot of people get stuck, is they don't take any path. They think that just sitting at the bottom of the mountain, that the path will be revealed to itself and it'll be the perfect path. But just like parenting, there's no perfect path. Like, you have to go mess up a million times. And I talk about this. I was talking about it with someone the other day, of like, they're saying, oh, I've analyzed a couple deals and it hasn't worked yet. I go, okay, cool. How many have you analyzed? 10. It's like, okay, well, until you get to 100, like, you don't even have the right to complain yet. Like, you haven't failed enough. And if we go back to kids, it's the exact same thing. Like, how can we ever expect a kid to walk if they haven't fallen 100 times? But once we become adults, we become so stupid and forget that that's literally how you succeed at anything, is you fail over and over and over again.
Yeah. That you're like, it's like you were there with me, and maybe what I did this weekend stems from what we did together. But you say being at the bottom of the mountain, just looking up there and going, oh yeah, the path will reveal itself. That's what I've been doing for a year now with this veterans thing. It's like waiting for the path to reveal itself. And I woke up on day 2 and I'm like, I'm going to start talking to people about this. And I started meeting some people. And then on the night of day 2, I had this poster board in my bedroom, which I had the intention of making these signs like, hey, lenders, come connect. And then I had written down on the poster board, like, and I look at it, I'm like, that's dumb. Who's going to want to come connect with somebody that's good? In hindsight, I wish I had done it, because I think people would have, but
I love that. Yes. And I think that this is a really important thing. I mean, whether you want to talk about spirituality or not, like, there's literally infinite ideas you could have at any moment in time in your life. Again, I was talking to one of my friends about like, how do you connect with God and all this? And it's like, literally, there's infinite thoughts you could have in your life at any moment in time. And there's a reason that you thought about that one thing. And so like, I always implore myself now and other people, like, when you have these random hairs, like, pull it, because that might be something that creates that path that you didn't even know. But if you're sitting there and being like, well, I don't think that that's like, but why did you come up with that idea? Like, you could have came up with like, I'm gonna, write something on my chest, or I'm gonna go do something else crazy. But there's a reason you were given that one thought out of infinite thoughts. So and going back to what you're saying, like, you'll never regret going through and doing that thing, because at least you moved into that path. And now you have new information of like, yeah, that was stupid. But because you didn't do it, you didn't get more information to reveal another path.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So like, that's what I did on night 2 is I like gave myself, I think that's what I wrote. Who wants to help veterans at the top of this whiteboard or this poster board? And then I'm looking at the sun, like, there's got to be something else that goes down here on the bottom 2/3, but I didn't know. And then I go downstairs and I start talking to more people, come upstairs, it's bedtime. I go downstairs in the morning, do my workout. I led a group of, I think we had like 15 people at the top, a workout every morning at 5:30 in the morning.
Beautiful.
And we chatted, we had, we connected a little bit, and then come back upstairs, get in the shower to get ready for the day. And it just hit me. Start writing things down that you can think of ways that you would like to help veterans. And, housing, mental health, disability rating, credit repair, job support, all these things. So I just started writing them down, and like, it was like you said, just people gravitated towards it. And so just the intentionality behind it, the being not completely, but being unclear and just going, I'm going to start walking up this path and see where the heck this leads.
Yeah.
So I've kind of found a little bit, and maybe maybe it goes back to what we talked about, and I'm just doing them now. But how would you recommend people to go from, I'm just doing this to make money, to finding a purpose and having some other, reason to be doing the things that we're doing?
Yeah. I mean, without knowing more of the specific details, like, because if you're doing a job that you absolutely hate and doesn't align with any part of your purpose, your values, your character, like, I don't know why you would be doing that. And that thing might actually be preventing you from doing something that is in more alignment of your purpose. So let me say this, and then feel free to ask me more questions if I'm actually answering your question. But one question I get from a lot of people is like, Creighton, I'm doing this, but I want to get to this purpose. Is it worth me continuing to do this thing? So I'll use myself as example. Like, cool, I really wanted to do coaching and help inspire people to love themselves, love their lives the way that they are today. So it was like, okay, well, do I need to keep doing engineering to pursue this? And when I started asking myself the question is like, does engineering, is it in alignment with what I actually want? It might not be a perfect alignment, but can I see that there's either some skills or some knowledge or something within what I'm currently doing that could be an asset or value to my higher purpose? And if you can find some yeses, then yes, keep doing that until a newer path or whatever. But if you're doing your current job and let's say you want to do what you're talking about, like helping veterans, and you're working, I don't know why this would be the case, but let's say you're working at McDonald's and you can't find any way that that's helping veterans, or there's no skills that you're acquiring, even though I would argue that people skills and customer service. But let's say that you can't find any, then I would say, okay, well, maybe you don't know how to do veterans yet, but let's start looking for another job. Let's keep this one until we find something else that you're like, oh, I think that this skill would apply towards the veterans. And one last long-winded response is think about the way that you did it, of like, cool, how are ways that I can help veterans? Oh, I can help them with mental health. I can help them with this, and write out your gambit. And then when you're looking for jobs, you just say, oh, does this align with any one of those? Does that make sense? Because maybe you get a job at a for a coach, or you get a job with some sort of therapy. You're like, oh, I can see how that would help eventually.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Because I think some people are thinking that they can just go from this to this. And sometimes there's so many, like even my journey, like, I mean, I can't tell you how many jobs I did growing up, but one of them that I was from the time I was 16 to 24 was a waiter, server, bartender. And like that was so helpful for me in my day-to-day stuff now, just interacting with people, entertaining, messing around with them. Same thing with becoming an engineer. Then I got into a lot of science and psychology, but like it all is what allowed me to kind of get where I'm at now. But it wasn't like on when I was 18, like, okay, cool, let me become, a high performance coach. Like I would have never been ready or had the drive to do it and be the same person I am today because of everything that's happened. And I think that's where a lot of people also get confused is they look back at their life and see everything that they did before their purpose is useless. And really, if you can start to change your mindset of being like, yeah, maybe there's some useless stuff, but realistically, there's so much useful information, even if it was negative feedback. Like I think we talked about, one of my favorite quotes is, pain pushes until your vision pulls you. So for me, I had to be an engineer for 13 years of dealing with pain. I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like this until I discovered what I do actually want and like. So it was such a blessing. And I think that so many of us forget that suffering usually is the path to some sort of success. And we're always looking to skip that. We're always looking for the shortcut. I don't want to suffer. I don't want to waste time. But sometimes that's necessary in order for you to succeed later.
That's something that I'm pretty sure it was David Goggins said. I feel like maybe we were talking about this before we went live, is that you may not know your purpose right now. And if that's keeping you from growing, you got to flip that switch, because if you're not growing every single day and you're not pushing yourself every single day to grow, when that opportunity comes and that purpose comes, you won't be ready to take advantage of it. And
or you haven't grown enough to fill those shoes because you're the same size, the same version of yourself. And this is what happens with a lot of people that I ran into when I was doing engineering. They grew so much as an engineer to get to the point, like to do engineering, it's a decent amount of work. It's pretty hard mentally to do all the schooling. And then once they got done, they got to their cushy job and they stopped growing. And they used to have so much drive, so much potential. And then once they got the cushy job, they stopped growing. And it's so true what they say, if you aren't growing, you're dying. And that's kind of what happened to me as an engineer. As I became an engineer, I was like, okay, cool, I guess this is it. I didn't have any other plan. I didn't have a bigger purpose. I didn't have anything else. It was just to make money. And then I was doing that. And, you just kind of start to lose your excitement for life because you're not challenging yourself. And there's actually a part of the brain that they've started to study this, where if they did this study on all these people that look like they're healthy, but they've kind of what they term, they've lost the will to live. And they measure this part of the brain, and they've just noticed that a lot of these people that are really, really healthy, that they just seem to be dying and they don't know why. Physically, everything's fine, but they measure this part of their brain and they're starting to attribute it to your will to live. And what they notice, this part of their brain is shrinking. Whereas other people and military people and David Goggins, these type of people are really good because every single day they do something difficult. And when you do something difficult, it actually activates this part of the brain and makes it grow. So people that have an enlarged part of this brain, they actually have a really big will to live. But here's the craziest thing, how amazing the creator is, that it can't be something that was hard and then became easy. So for example, if you do something that's like waking up, let's say that you're used to waking up at 10 in the morning, then you start waking up at 5, right? Oh my gosh, this is so hard. After 3 months, waking up at 5 in the morning just becomes normal. So now it's not hard. And so that part of the brain stops getting exercise and will start to atrophy unless you find another thing that starts to be hard. And this is why ice bath or cold plunges work so well for this. Because I mean, I don't know if you've done it, but like no matter how long you do a cold plunge, like every single day, it's still hard. It never really becomes easy to shock the crap out of your body. So
Yeah, that's what I've noticed. What the heck?
yeah,
Okay.
it
You
never
think
gets.
like, oh, I do this every day, it's gonna be easier, but
I
every
talk to
day it's
people
like,
that have
crap,
done
this
it for
sucks.
years, and
Yeah.
it's always the same. It's never like, oh, this is comfortable.
Yeah.
So that's a good one. But I would also challenge people not just to do something that physically stimulates, like that's all physical, but I'd also find a way that you're growing yourself, like either mentally or with some sort of skill, like pushing yourself. And this is why music or something like that is so good. Like, I mean, this is one recommendation I'd have for you in the audience of like, okay, cool, Creighton, this sounds good. I want to challenge myself on a daily basis so that I'm ready for when my purpose does come across and I've grown, I've become better. Is I would just write down what are the things that you're the most afraid of. And then slowly find something that you can do either on a daily or weekly or monthly basis that addresses that fear, because I guarantee that that fear is probably the thing that's preventing you from taking the steps towards that real purpose that you have. Because most of us have a purpose. We know what we want to do, but the fear is bigger than the reward. So we're not willing to go look like a fool in front of other people or go talk in front of other people or go ask for what it is that we want. So
You're
I would
saying I
find
should go
out.
buy some snakes.
Maybe I don't. So what is it about snakes that you feel
No.
like is in the alignment? But
So you
yeah,
said
awesome.
find something that scares you.
Yeah.
I like snakes.
There you go.
I gotta start wrangling snakes then.
But I guarantee if you did, I mean, we're all joking aside, I guarantee that if you started to address that fear and overcame it, it would open up all these other possibilities, because you would realize that that fear isn't real. And it's so funny that they actually did a study of this, that they took these parents that they took their, did you see that they put these babies in a room with all these snakes and stuff, and the babies weren't afraid of the snake. It's all in our mind that we create these fears. So I guarantee if you overcame your fear of snakes or started to change of seeing it for what it is, like this isn't real, you would start to see other areas of your lives that you have fears and be like, you know what, that's not real either.
Yeah. I don't know if Brittany's actually listening, but I'm going to start catching the cockroaches and putting, because
there you go. But you have to do it for yourself as well.
Yeah, well,
you can't help someone else.
Either.
Creighton told me, Brittany, that I'm supposed to put cockroaches. She's like, "Oh, that's fine. Go get in bed. Inside your pillow cover is a snake."
She's listening. Yeah, okay. So I don't know where I want to go here, because I think we should keep going down the personal kind of development side rather than the child thing, because I think that would be more apt to the listeners. So I'm fortunate that at least for the past couple years now, every time I sit with the question, like, why am I here? What's my purpose?
What's
the word answer? Veteran, at least, well, veterans, like helping veterans, has come, because I was in the Marine Corps. I got out and I was in a dark place, but somehow navigated that and was fortunate. I got tapped into the right people. I got tapped into the right communities. I got a dog that freaking pulled me out of some stuff, just by going out and walking and being together. But a lot of veterans haven't been that fortunate and haven't gotten tapped into the right communities. So I've always been pulled towards that. And it wasn't till this, and I don't know if it's something that Pace said or just that the fact that I had prayed about, hey, show me the opportunities, put me in front of the right people, that it finally came together. I'm like, I'm just going to start taking action on this and see where it goes. Like, what about for those people that feel that there's a purpose, but the word veterans or whatever that is doesn't pop into their mind? Are there any exercises that we can go through that would help? Like, hey, yeah, I am at McDonald's and there is something bigger than this. I do feel that, but I don't know what that is. So how am I supposed to know that McDonald's doesn't align with that?
Yeah, I mean, it would be helpful if we could kind of role play and kind of talk about some of it so that I can
Okay.
go either deeper or not. But
Okay.
if we can go back to yours for the person that does have a thing like yours, veterans, cool. I don't really know how or what. Like your goal literally should be is so if we can do this exercise, if that's okay with you.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this, like how soon do you want to help a veteran? Do you want to help a veteran in a year once you have it all figured out?
No, I'd like to start helping them tomorrow if I was able to.
Beautiful. Do you really believe that your information, your knowledge, your experience at this moment in time, you don't have a way that you can help a veteran out tomorrow?
Oh no, yeah, if I found a veteran in need, I could help them in some sort of fashion if they needed it. If they were
Okay.
willing to help themselves too, I think. Yeah.
Okay. So you're saying if you could find a veteran, that would make you happy to be able to help them tomorrow.
Ooh, I think that it would.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel that it would give me some extra fulfillment that I'm not getting just out of just going and making money through co-living the things. Yeah.
Okay. So let's say tomorrow comes and goes. You don't pursue this. You don't go try to help a veteran. Do you feel more in alignment with your purpose? Do you feel good about your day? Or do you regret not pursuing that?
If I hadn't explicitly helped a veteran tomorrow, I wouldn't say that I would feel poorly about myself as long as I had continued down the path that I've set to help veterans, i.e., made a phone call to a veteran home placement place or connected with somebody that's already doing it, if that makes sense.
So you're taking steps towards it.
You're
This is what you're
correct.
saying.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So do you feel like if you're making phone calls towards veteran facilities and that, if you did that every single day for the week, at the end of the week, you look back, you reflect, would you be like, yeah, I feel like I'm in pursuit of what I want, or do I really want to find a different way to help?
From what I know today, I would say yes. I'm in. If I take the steps every day to continue to go down this path of helping veterans in these handful of capacities that I've already identified, I would say yes. I'm in alignment with what I'm trying to do.
Okay. Then, I mean,
Yeah.
at that point, then I think you're doing the right thing and you don't need to change. But I would actually challenge you more of
Mhm.
saying, now let's use that scenario. Cool. I'm calling, I'm doing the things literally like let's use real estate. I'm cold calling, I'm analyzing deals, whatever. At the end of the week, I see that my numbers, I did 50. Like, cool, that feels good. But let's look at the alternative. Let's say that you dropped everything, not saying this is what you're going to do, but you drop everything tomorrow. You go down to a veteran assistant place, you go around and you literally get in front of a veteran and talk about either what it was like for you, and you talk about how your dog helped you through, and that there's all these mental options out there, and that you're happy to talk to them about finances if that's where they're at or whatever. Let's say that you dropped everything, you went out and did that tomorrow. At the end of the day of tomorrow, how would you feel?
I'd say I would probably say better in some aspects and maybe not in others
Say
because
more. Yeah,
yeah, well, because I don't want to just touch one person. I want to touch a lot of people, and I
of
want
course you do.
yeah, I want to build something
I
to
don't want a
where
dollar, I want $1 million.
yeah, and I don't want to while I would like to be and like have those intimate connections, like I don't want to have to be the one to do the thing. I want to be able to take myself out of it so lots of other people can be helped. And so
Right.
I would in a sense really amazing that I was able to help this one person, but also feeling like, man, by helping that one person, how many people have I stopped from being helped? If that
Hmm.
makes sense.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense. So let me ask you this. Do you think by helping yourself has allowed you the ability to help so many other people?
Oh yeah, 100%. Like just
So
I think back the 3 years since I joined Sub 2 and started developing all these like, you know, really developing my personal, my personal self, but going back 20 years to when I got out of the Marine Corps. Holy moly. Yeah. Almost 20 years ago. And, started learning all these things of ways to cope with the depression and ways to cope with, your memory loss and how to deal with these things on a day-to-day basis. Like all of those things have led me up to this point to be able to help people.
100%. So you would agree that it started with one person?
Darn you.
You made the case, not me.
I almost spit it out. I almost spit the tea out on the screen. Yeah. Okay. So you're saying I need to drop everything tomorrow and go help one person?
I'm not saying you have to do anything. I'm just saying that you could look at your whole, and I wouldn't say to do this every single day, but let's look at the totality of the week. Like, how bad do you really want to help someone? And I guarantee by you going and helping one person, we're going to walk up the path and be like, oh, I don't want to help them with this, but I did like this. Okay, so next time I go help someone, I'm going to help them with this. And maybe this becomes your new thing on every Wednesday or every Friday of every week, because we still have the rest of life and all of our other priorities. Like, it'd be irresponsible for us to be like, all right, I'm just going to be a martyr and go only help other people. But you could pick, okay, well, every Wednesday for 4 hours, I'm going to go to a veteran assisted place and I'm going to just go talk to people. Like, I mean, you know what it's like just having someone pay attention to you, to see you or hear you. Like, you're going to feel so good, and you're going to start to get some more information and feel so much more aligned towards your purpose. Because I can see that a lot of us, especially intelligent, so we say, individuals like ourselves that are like, oh, I'm going to mass produce instead of just one, I'm going to make it 1 million. And you waste so much time, like 6, 8, 9 months go by, and you haven't really done anything. All you've done is distracted yourself. Hey, look at this amazing machine I'm going to make. And it's all this. And it's like, I guarantee if you went out and you were helping one person each week for the last 9 months, you would have so much more clarity, and you'd feel so much more in alignment with your purpose. But all of us always, and when I say all, I'm raising my hand as well, we get in our head and overthink and think like, it has to be 1 million and it's like, no, it goes back to like analyzing deals. It's not analyzing 1 million or making $1 million. It's, let's make one. Yeah. And then let's make 2. And it's the same thing that what you were probably talking about with your sexy fit dads, that it's about doing one thing consistently. Cool. Yeah. Every single week I'm helping one person. And then by helping that one person, maybe you can say, okay, hey, next week I'm going to be here at this facility. Is there any, do you want to tell your buddies? Now there's 3 people. Like, and especially as you go, you're like, okay, cool. I want to help people, and I want to find out. I don't know how yet, but I know I want to find a way that eventually I'm able to talk to hundreds of people, but I don't know how to do that yet. But you know what I do know, based upon where I'm at this moment in time, I can go help one person. Yeah.
I'm thinking too, like, you mentioned I want to go do 1 million, and I want to build this machine that's able to help people. And I'm thinking, if I don't go talk to the one, what if I'm building this machine that's, because I didn't go talk to the one,
it's useless. No one wants it. Yeah.
Like, no, I don't want to talk to you about my mental health. Like,
I see this all the time. And I remember me and one of my buddies, we wanted to find the perfect market in the United States to start buying properties. So we literally created this whole system of, we went and analyzed every single city that had a population of 60,000 people or more in the entire United States. I think it's like 600 or something like that cities. Okay. And we did like everything about it, what the population growth, what the crime rate, what the average cost of property is, what's the average income, what kind of job growth, like every single thing that we could. It was this huge, massive spreadsheet. I don't remember how many columns there were, but it passed Z that they had to duplicate. So we had so much data, over 600, and we did it all. And it took us probably like 3 months to get all the information. And then once we did, it's like, well, now what? Because when you filtered it all, no city was perfect on it. Like, in our mind, we're like, okay, well, everything will filter. And once we did filter, there still was like 100 cities that met all the criteria, and they didn't meet it in every single. And we're just like, oh, wow, like
Dang.
we just wasted 3 months. Like we would have been better off just analyzing more properties instead of trying to, take the shortcut. So I don't know. It's difficult when we start to think in our mind. And the last analogy that I'll use is like, cool, if you want to run 100 miles, it doesn't start with like mentally thinking and reading the books about how to run 100 miles. It's with, okay, I need to run 1 mile first,
You might
right?
have to
Because you can
walk
read,
it first.
yeah, because you could read all the books. They're like, okay, this is how you run it. This is what it feels like. But like, that's totally a waste of time. You would have been way better served running 1 mile and getting
Yeah.
consistent at that mile, and then be like, okay, cool. Now that I can do that, next week I've earned the right to now run 2 miles.
Or read the book. No.
Yeah. or if or do the mile while supplement it with reading the book.
Yeah.
That would be the best, because I see this time and time again where people will start to see some success and then they stop doing the thing in order to try to leapfrog. And I always tell them, like, don't stop doing what was working. Let's add some more information, but you can't add this information if you aren't able to continue to do the thing that created some sort of success. It's the whole, what is the baby with the bathwater, right? Like, oh, okay, well, yeah, I've had some success. Now let me recreate everything and start from ground zero again.
We want to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
we
did that answer your question? I mean,
well, it helped me. I'm trying to think of the people that are out there
that don't have a purpose,
that don't have the veteran thing. Yeah. Like how can we tweak here? And
we can, if you're okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll talk all day, so don't
Well,
worry
I
about
also
that.
want to be, I want to be cognizant of your time too.
No, we're good. We can go till the end of the hour. But for the person that doesn't have their purpose yet, usually, I mean, everything that I do in my studying for my coaching, everything comes down to feeling. Like, that's why people do stupid things, because logic only gets you so far. Like, logically, you shouldn't be doing drugs. Logically, you shouldn't go do those inappropriate things. But why do you do it? The feeling will always overcome. Like, let's say that it's in the morning, 5 o'clock, you say you're going to wake up. Logically, you need to wake up at 5 because you need to go do all these things, and you need to do your morning routine, and then you'll have time to go to the gym, and then you'll be able to go to work. Logic all makes sense. But when your alarm goes off at 4:45, what happens? I don't feel like waking up. I don't feel. Feelings dominate everything. So for me, most people are unsure about what their purpose is because they aren't in tune with their feelings, and they don't know what are the things that actually make them feel energized or make them feel good. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if you're, this is for someone that's literally starting at scratch, that they have no idea, like, my thing for you would be to start to just notice throughout the day things that are happening that make you feel energized, that make you feel good. Because that might, and I would start documenting it and see, as you start writing down things, do these support some sort of thing? Like, because you might start to see some tendencies, or you might see some trends. Oh, I see. Anytime I talk to people, I really enjoy that. I don't know why. I don't know why yet. Cool. So, but I do know I do enjoy talking. But let me go talk to more people. Let me see what starts to, oh, you know what? Now that I'm talking to more people, I realize I really like talking about spirituality or crystals or real estate, or like, oh, okay, of all these, now I'm starting to converge into one thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Or maybe you're the person that you do have an idea of what are the things that you do kind of enjoy. Then I would challenge you to do a challenge of like 30 days of like, say, okay, the next 30 days, every single week, I'm going to do one thing towards this thing that I think I like, and see what comes. Because most of us are too afraid to make the commitment to get more clarity. We think that the clarity is just going to come overnight. But realistically, taking the action. So like, let's say that you're like, oh, I'm kind of interested in, psychology, and I'm kind of interested in sports, and I'm kind of interested in real estate. Okay, cool. So for the next 30 days, I'm just going to pick one of those 4, Maybe you can prioritize, have all of them. I think this one, investing sounds fun. Cool. Next 30 days, set up a schedule. Okay, every Friday at this time, this is what I'm going to start doing. And maybe you don't know anything. And so you have to start with just being around, like listening to Nathaniel's podcast or listening to Pace or starting to listen until you can figure out, okay, well, now that I have enough information, I can take some other action step.
It sounds like what was the name of the book? I think it's like it starts with a goal, or all it takes is a goal. And he talks about that you have small, medium, and large goals, and small goals are like a week long. Can you do this for 15 minutes a day for a week? And you might, most small goals don't turn into medium goals. So it's not, you take the psychology, and I forget what the other ones you mentioned, but real estate, like, okay, I'm going to do real estate for a week. Maybe you find out like, oh shoot, I don't even like real estate at all. I thought I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be accountable and actually take some action. And this is one thing I think I was talking about in my podcast the other day, but like I'll make decision deadlines. Like, okay, cool. Like, I think that this is what I want. And I know my brain has a tendency to want perfection, all this. So I'm like, okay, cool. I know that you're really good at analyzing. I know you're really good at figuring things out, Creighton. So rather than have you do this for a whole year to get to 100%, I'm going to give you 2 weeks to get to 80%. And we'll see how you do. And what I found out, which is really interesting, when I give myself a decision deadline, okay, like let's say that today I'm trying to figure out if I want to do something. Okay, Creighton, like I'm going to give you 1 week. So next Wednesday at 10 o'clock, you have to make a decision, either yes or no on this thing. So you have the next week to get more information. And what I found out is really interesting is when I give myself like a week and the Wednesday comes up, sometimes I don't make it a priority to actually find more information. And then I still have to, I've made that commitment with myself of like, cool, you didn't do the homework. So obviously you don't really care about this thing. So why are we even worried about this? Like either you want it or you don't. Other times, like, oh my God, like if it was like, okay, do I want to buy this property? Like I'm going to spend time, I'm going to put it in my schedule, I'm going to prioritize it and actually get more information so I can make a better educated decision. So going back to what you're saying, like, okay, yeah, I really want to do real estating. And then the whole week goes by and you don't do anything. You don't plan it. You don't prioritize it, anything. Then maybe you need to be honest with yourself. Like, do you really want to do this? Like, say no. And maybe it's the sports, or maybe it's the psychology. Maybe there was another one, and try doing that one for the week. Or maybe you do it for the week and you don't make time for it. And then you just have to be accountable. Oh my gosh, I didn't make any time. Do I really want this? Yes, I do. Okay. Now, if you don't do it in this next week, then that means that you don't want it and you're going to have to move on to something else. And then the week goes by and you didn't do it. Like, okay, I made this commitment. I'm going to go do something else.
There's a lot of people that need to hear that.
Because we're all going to fail. And I think that people that they fail, they think that that's a sign, but it's really not. It's like, cool, what are you going to do with that? But you need to make a priority and a commitment with yourself. Like, okay, cool. This is where the rubber meets the road. I failed last week, but I'm going to prioritize. I'm going to do whatever I can so that I don't fail this week. And if you aren't willing to change to succeed, then you're never going to succeed, because you have to become a different version of yourself, different skills, different habits, different something to get to a level that you aren't able to be at currently. And so that's so big for anyone out there of thinking that, oh, I'm just going to be like, I mean, if we go back to exercise, anything, this is why I love exercise. There's no way I'll be able to like get this muscle or to be able to lift the weights without putting in the time to break down, to change, to grow.
Man, I'm glad you did mention it. You mentioned it very, very quickly there. You said on my podcast. I want to make sure we shout that out, because I don't know how many listeners you have, but I am one of them. I haven't listened to every episode yet, but I forget it's not Into the Mind, is it?
No, it's not. It's a High Performance Human podcast.
Yes. Okay. And you have a lot of, how to solve it. Like something, and how to fix it. Yeah.
Yeah, I try to talk about the thing, what's going on, why it's happening, and then at the end of every episode, I do give homework of like, okay, cool. Now this is how you can actually do something to change.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What made you want to start that? Because this is you've been doing the high performance coaching for a while now, and this is
Yeah.
you're 5 or 6 episodes in at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I've always wanted to do it, but to be honest, to set up my video in my mind, I was going to do YouTube and I was going to do this big video production, and couldn't ever get the lighting perfect and the sound and everything like that. And it kept being, so this is perfect. This is literally what I had to do. I kept saying I wanted to record 24 YouTube episodes. That was my goal starting this year. A week went by. Oh, I didn't do it because my light, I couldn't figure out a studio. I couldn't figure out the light. Cool. Next week went by. I didn't do it. Well, I tried to do it, but I didn't like the recording. Cool. Next week went by. And then I did another one, but then I had to try to edit the video and it was taking me forever to edit the video. Next week went by. And I'm just like, okay, this is not working. I should have already had 2 recorded, but I'm not doing it. And then I asked myself the question, like, why am I doing this? And it was like, well, I really love teaching. I love talking and love getting my message out there. It's like, okay, well, do you have to do it via video? And it was like, oh, well, what if I just talked and then I can do it? Like, I mean, to be honest, some of the episodes that I've recorded it in my closet because it actually sounds so good because the clothes dampen all the sound. So I love it. It's so quick and it's easy. I spend about a week writing up what is that I want to talk about, the topics. And then I just sit there and record it. It takes me about 30 minutes and then it takes me another 30 minutes, but it's a way that I can be consistent. And I know my real future plan is I want to be able to do video production and all that, but I haven't earned the right. I haven't figured that out yet, but I do know how to talk into a cell phone in a closet and be able to do that consistently. So that's how, but it literally is something that I've been wanting to do for so long, but because I didn't know how to do it or how to figure it out, or I wasn't prioritizing the time to figure it all out, I had to pivot and be like, okay, well, what's my real priority here?
Yeah. It's good to know that, like, kind of no matter where you're at in your walk, these things are applicable and you can apply them. Yeah.
But it's so simple. It's funny. I was talking to someone, a private coaching session I was having the other day that we're talking about these things. He's like, oh, man, you just make all these things so simple and obvious that we're doing on a daily basis. And I go, I know, it's so crazy. It's so simple that we overlook it. I mean, we can go back to, like, think about the greatest gift that we're given, breath, right? I think we've talked about this, that you're given 60,000 miracles every single day because you take 60,000 breaths. Something as simple as that we take for granted. Like, you can't tell me that the biggest blessings in life aren't the simplest, smallest things. Like, it always is. But we always think it's this big thing that you're going to accomplish, this big thing. But you hear about all these people that get successful, and once they become successful, they miss the grind. They miss how hard it was. Like, what are the little things they did day after day is what really got them there. It wasn't one monumental thing. So that would be my thing from all these people. Cool. If we can summarize this, if you're worried about figuring out your purpose, just start to find what are the things that make you excited. Like that little thing, start tracking, and then you start to have a list. Okay, cool. Based upon those, what's one thing that I can do towards that each week? Or maybe you want to do it every day. I mean, you get to decide.
I love it. I knew this was going to happen. We were at the hour mark. I do have I have 3 questions for you to try to close us out here. We've done this before. You've said some books. I specifically remember Cash Flow Quadrant.
Oh yeah, that's a good one for investing.
You dropped a real estate one, and then we actually ended up going through Self-Driven Child on your recommendation. Yeah, this is one that as we were reading, I was like, oh, we definitely have to come back to this one in a couple years as the kids are grown. But how can we start applying some of these things right now, giving the kids
Well, I hope that you notice too with self-driven child, the amazing thing, like I hope you guys are employing that in every aspect of your life. Like that's the
Yeah.
one thing that I loved about that. Like it was about how to raise driven children, but it was teaching you how to communicate effectively with literally anyone.
Mm. Yeah. And like, I don't want to go too far down this, but like, it's funny that they see the giving the kids more control and more options, more autonomy, and like, especially with the 2-year-old, the more times we tell him like, hey, go do this thing, the more of like fussiness we get. Like, give him the choices, give him the options, and then and he's a little bit more happy. But
Yeah. And it's, I mean,
Brittany's
it's the
giving
same thing with people. I don't know if you noticed this, but the same thing. I mean, we kind of did some coaching here. It was the same thing of like giving you like, okay, well, would you rather do this or do this? Like at the end of the week, would you rather have this feeling? Or if you did it today, would you rather feel this? Which one would you rather have? And you're like, oh,
Yeah.
well, that one, rather
Yeah.
than just saying, oh, it's this. So, yeah.
What other books do you have for me this time? And
I mean, you're talking about purpose. So, I mean, my favorite Napoleon Hill, I don't know if I mentioned this before, was The Outwitting the Devil.
oh yeah, that one
That
is
one is
yeah.
phenomenal. But for the person that's like already knows they need to have a purpose, like that book might be a little frustrating because really that book just talks about how important it is to have a purpose in life.
Yeah.
So that's one of my favorites. I mean, can I throw in the Bible? Like the Bible is amazing all around.
Yeah.
reading through that and really trying to understand. And I think this is one thing that I love about the Bible is like, I think all of us literally are on this planet to try to master something, right? We want to get good. And I think when we come to something and realize, because real mastery is knowing that you're never going to get to the end destination. There is no end destination. It's your commitment to continue to fail and continue to strive to get better at this thing. And that's what I literally love about the Bible or religion or whatever is like, I mean, until you're in the ground, I guess, like there's literally no way that you can be sinless. There's no way that you can be perfect, whatever. Like you talk about growing that part of your brain and continuing to challenge yourself. Like as soon as you start diving into that, welcome to a world of continuing to fail and continuing to grow.
Yeah.
Like, and what a beautiful gift. I mean, there's no complacency there.
You don't need to be a believer to get value out of the Bible. There's just so much timelessness and applicable to all different aspects of life in that book. And
yeah,
I did a series going back. Like,
and I think a lot of
ahead,
people get really confused when they join. So like, reach out to someone like, because I can see if you just open up the Bible and you go to someone sacrificing their kid or the flood, so you're just like, oh, I don't like this is so negative, and like I don't like, but like it's out of context. Like you're taking just one little piece. So talk to someone and ask them like where you should start. Like I think it's John 3 would be my recommendation. Just start reading through John 3 and start reading about that. Or Ephesians 2 is a really good one because it's about Paul's letter to the Ephesians, kind of talking about what Jesus did. Because I think having some sort of guide rails of like, okay, well, why am I reading the Bible? What's this about? And so starting with something that kind of explains it more is pretty helpful.
Oh yeah. See, we did it was a Bible in the year, like if you read it and it was in chronological order, it's like time frame wise. So it did jump around.
And that helps so much with our mindset. Because I don't think people, when they go in to read the Bible, they're not thinking about how the Bible was actually wrote or why and all this. They're thinking like, okay, well, like tell me what it started, what it ended. And so we're looking for that chronological, but nothing in the Bible is really, even John's writings aren't chronological.
Yeah.
So when it isn't, automatically you're going to have a lot of friction and confliction with it of like, well, this doesn't even make sense and this is stupid. But it's like, well, no, you just don't understand the totality of how it's all set up. So yeah, doing something like that. And I even do that with the kids. Like we'll read like like you're saying, chronologically through Jesus's ministry, and so that they can see how he grew and what happened, rather than just reading through one of the gospels. So
Yeah.
yeah.
It ended up taking us like 4 years, but that's,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
But that's awesome. Yeah.
What's the best place for people to reach out to you? Are you looking for more coaching clients at the moment? I know you're kind of at a...
Yeah, I mean, I have it up here at Creighton_Bertrand's my Instagram. Go there, send me a message if you're interested in coaching. We can talk about what that looks like for you. I'm definitely, I mean, I love to help out any way I can. Feel free to reach out. But the biggest is, yeah, if you could go to the High Performance Human, or just type in Creighton Bertrand on Apple podcast, go to my podcast, leave me a review, listen to it, send me feedback. Zach actually is pretty good at this. He'll be like, hey man, I just got done walking the dog. Podcast was awesome. And will tell me what his takeaways or what, like, I love hearing that as you're going through, or let me know what it is you want me to talk about. Like I do it for everyone else. Like, so let me know what you're struggling with. And then I'll do an episode on. And a lot of my episodes thus far have been pulled from my private high performance coaching. Of like, oh, he was struggling with this. Like, cool, let me share this with everyone else that, you know, isn't ready to make an investment in themselves. Like, I still want to spread the word.
Airing my dirty laundry. No, I'm just...
yeah. I don't say anyone's name. So
right. Just inspiration from you.
Yeah. Nathaniel was really struggling with this. And so
this piece of junk now.
Yeah.
What I don't know. I don't remember if I had asked you this on the last episode.
Okay.
If I had, I would be curious to see if it's changed. I would guess the answer is going to be the same if I had asked it, and I have a guess to what it would be. But once your time on this earth is done, what is it? I'm really setting it up.
I'm worried about answering now.
I think that I asked it, but once your time on this earth is done, and God willing, you're up, at the pearly gates, what would you like to be remembered for by the people that you've left behind?
Oh man, love, just love.
Yeah. I did ask you that before. Okay.
Yeah.
Who
would have thought something as simple as that would make someone cry? I don't know if I told you this. Yeah. And this is, if anything, I'll stay a little extra just for this. Guys, please find out who you want to be, what it is that's important to you, and strive for that on a daily basis. Like, even literally everything that we've talked about is about this. Like Nathaniel was saying, cool, when I went to Squad Up, my intentionality was, how can I help investors? Or when he was there, like, cool, I want to stay within budget. Like, we're doing this for external things, but how often are we doing that for an internal? Like, who do you want to be? What do you want people to remember you by? And if you aren't reflecting on this on a daily basis, good luck ever becoming it. And I'll tell you, yesterday was my wife and I's anniversary for the first time we met, April Fools. Okay. And we were walking one day on a hike, and I asked her, I was like, hey babe, can I tell you about yourself? And she's like, oh yeah, sure. Because we're talking about like how we were doing in our relationships and how excited we were that we connected, especially given the fact, I don't know if people know, we almost got a divorce like, 6 years ago. So but we're willing to suffer and sacrifice to create something so beautiful. And we're so grateful that we went through that horrific time, because it allowed us to get so much more connected and build something so much more beautiful than we even knew was possible. So anyway, we're walking, and I was like, hey, can I tell you about yourself? She's like, yeah. I was like, you're the most caring, kind. And I gave her this whole spiel of everything that I loved about who she was, how she inspires me spiritually. Like, she's taken me to levels that I didn't even know existed in my life, and how she's there for our family, all these things. And she was crying, and she's like, oh, that's so beautiful. She's like, can I tell you about yourself? And I was like, you don't need to tell me about, I didn't do that for you. I just literally wanted you to hear that. Yeah. And she goes, no, I want to tell you about yourself. And I go, okay. And she's walking. She goes, Creighton, you're one of the most loving individuals that I've ever met or been around. And I just lost it. And like, then she said some other things about being a good father, all these other things. And she's like, whoa, are you okay? And I was like, That's all I've ever wanted in my entire, that's what I strive for on day. How can I make someone else feel more love? So to be seen and recognized for that, I was just like, as soon as she said that, I was like, take me to the pearly gates. Like, if people are seeing me as love, like, that's all I ever wanted. So I feel like from this point forward, if I'm doing that, like, I'm just playing with house money at this point. So anyways.
Well, I love you.
You opened that up. I love you. I love it all, man.
Yeah. I know. Every time I talk to you, even just through freaking Messenger, you can feel it. So I will say this, that I can echo her on that you are living it. I probably said it on the last episode too, is like the very first time we actually chatted, you essentially gave us a coaching call, and we sat on the kitchen floor over here. I think it was just a phone call, but no, I think maybe it was on this laptop. And we talked for like an hour, and you took us through some exercises, and it was just because you want to help other people out, because you love everybody that you come in contact with, and everybody that you have been. So yeah.
I mean, I just think that we're given such a beautiful gift, and we just don't realize it. And I mean, I'm just as oblivious to it for so many years of my life. Like, I was only focused on the bad, what wasn't, and I wasn't focusing on what is. So yeah, helping other people see that life is so beautiful. It's all just your perception. And it doesn't mean that just because it's beautiful, it doesn't mean you're not still suffering and pushing it. Like, I mean, I did my cold plunge today and ran, like, I do all the things still that you don't let off. I think because you love yourself, like, I'm sure it's the same thing for you and your sons. Like, because you love them, you want more from them. So many people are afraid of, like, oh, if I love myself, then I'll just take it easy. Like, no, when you're playing with house money, and even Kobe talked about this, like, he said one of the best things is he went to go play basketball, and his dad sat down and said, hey, Kobe, whether you win or lose, I still love you. You have nothing to prove to me. And he was just like, I'm going to play all out then, because even if I lose and I suck and I fail, I know that love is still there unconditionally. It's literally unconditional love. It's not conditional. And I think so many of us are conditionalizing it, saying, okay, Creighton, if you get $1 million, if you do this, then you'll be good enough. Then I'll love you. And we can see how that works in our lives, that, you know, doing conditional love doesn't really inspire us. What it does is makes us afraid to go fail.
Jeez. Well, I wouldn't be doing a lot of the stuff that I'm doing if we hadn't ran into each other. I mean, thank you to Sub 2 and Pace and all that. But, you know, we got so much out of our time together, and continue to get, you know, every time I get to talk to you, every time I get to just message with you. If you're listening here live and you haven't chatted with Creighton already, please reach out to him. If you're listening here in the future, please reach out to him. If you're struggling with any of the things that we've talked about on this episode, or any other things, Creighton, if he cannot help you directly, will figure out a way to guide you to the right place to find the help that you need. But I'm pretty confident that whatever you're struggling with, Creighton has some questions that will help you find the clarity. He does a really excellent job at not giving solutions and helping you or guide yourself to the solutions. I think that's what makes you a great closer as well. So, but yeah, we don't want to talk about that anymore. I appreciate you, brother. I'm going to boot you out of here. If you can hang tight, hang tight. If not, I know you got shut you down. Creighton Bertrand, everybody. I don't know if you could tell, he's affected me a lot. He's affected the young lady that's on a meeting on this couch a lot, and our family. We wouldn't be doing what we're doing if it wasn't for him. We wouldn't be seeking other people to gain their experience and gain their guidance if it wasn't for him. We had such an amazing experience with him with the time we had, and going further beyond. So if you're looking to make changes in your life and you're feeling like you just need somebody to ask the right questions, reach out to Creighton. He's the guy that can ask the right questions and get you along the way. We took a break last week from helping Hands Hour, but we're back at it because I was at Squad Up Summit. amazing place to find clarity and connect with a lot of people and move on your path. Helping Hands hours tomorrow, Thursdays, noon Eastern time. If you need questions answered, more business related, but we can jump into mindset and stuff as well. Come. The link is in the YouTube description. It's probably not there already because I got in late last night and I didn't get a chance to update the YouTubes, but it will be there. Until next week, I don't know who we have as a guest, but see you later.